to another episode of Last Minute Laura. I'm Laura, and today I'm going to show you how to make these super cute braided edge fingerless gloves. It's a really simple pattern. It's worked flat, which is awesome, and I'm going to show you how to make it today. And we're going to make the second glove. I've already done the first one. I made a couple others. I did some in green, just so you can see that braided pattern. You can see this super cute texture we're going to create here. It's just single crochet the whole project, but we're going to only be using the front loops and the back loops for these cool fingerless gloves. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, keep watching. Okay, so for this project you are going to need a couple of things. You're going to need some yarn. I'm using Briggs & Little Sport Weight wool. I've got one in army green and rose. I think that's the colors. You'll also need scissors to cut your yarn. You'll also need a crochet hook. I'm using a 4mm hook for today. If you go up a little bit, you'll just end up with a slightly looser fingerless glove, which is totally okay because this is like a fitted sort of size on, I don't know, my average hands. So yes, let's do it. Okay, so first things first, we're going to create a slip knot. Then we're going to chain 22. 1, 2, 21, 22. Next, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2, single crochet in that one. And then we're going to single crochet into the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 6. And then next we're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to skip 1 stitch, so skip 1, and we're going to reattach by single crocheting in the next stitch. There we go. And now we're going to single crochet across all the way to the end. At the end of this row, chain 1 and turn. Okay, so now we're on row number 2. We're going to single crochet in the first stitch, just normal single crochet, and in the next 11 stitches, we're going to do front loop only, back loop only, front loop only, back loop only, for 11 stitches. So there's 2, then front loop, 3, back loop, 4, front loop, 5, back loop, 6, front loop, 7, back loop, 8, front loop, 9, back loop, 10, and front loop, 11. And then we're going to single crochet normally through both loops for the next stitch, and then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to reattach with a regular single crochet at the other side. And then we're going to do front loop only, back loop only for the next 5 stitches, I believe. So there's front loop 1, back loop 2, front loop 3, back loop 4, front loop 5. And then we're going to finish on the last stitch with a single crochet through both sides, both loops. And we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now for this row, we're going to do the opposite of that. So we're going to start with a single crochet in the first and last stitch of every row. Just so you know, it's going to be a regular single crochet. So first stitch and last stitch, it's going to be a regular crochet, and the stitches around that chain 5 are going to be regular single crochets. It's just those ones in between those stitches that are going to be using the front loop and back loop only. So now we're on row number 3. We're going to single crochet regular in the first stitch, and then we're going to do back loop only in the next stitch, front loop only in the next stitch, back loop, front loop, back loop, and we're just going to repeat that until we end up at the stitch before the chain 5. So the stitch before the chain 5 is going to be a back loop, and then we're going to do a regular single crochet on that last stitch, and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we will reattach at the other end with a regular single crochet, and then starting with back loop, we're going to do back loop, single crochet, front loop, single crochet, all the way across except for the last stitch. The last stitch of the row is going to be a regular single crochet. Okay, so now we're on row number 4. We're going to just repeat row number 2. So we're starting with a single crochet, a regular one in the first stitch, and now we're going to do front loop only for the first stitch and then back loop only for the next stitch. And we're just going to repeat that until we get to the chain 5. And on that stitch right before the chain 5, we're going to do a regular single crochet. And then we're going to do it again on the other side of that chain 5. It's the exact same steps as for row number 2. And can you believe this? It's that repeat over and over and over again. So from row 4 until row 32, we're going to be doing this exact same repeat, just 32 rows of single crochet in the first stitch, front loop only, back loop only, front loop only, back loop only, until the chain 5, where we do a regular single crochet and then chain 5, followed by reattaching with a regular single crochet and then doing front loop only, back loop only, all the way across. And we're going to do that all the way, like I said, to row number 32. So work your way to row 32. If it's too tight to get around your hand at that point, add a couple of rows. You can add 2 rows, 4 rows, just keep the rows even, and that way it will go together the same way as it is for me. But as long as your rows are even, if 32 is too big for you, you can do 30 or 28. If 32 is too small, like I said, you can do 34 or 36. Whatever works for you, but it's basically just even patterns of front loop only, back loop only, with regular single crochets at each of the ends to anchor the chain 5 and to anchor the edges of the fingerless glove. So I will see you back here. I'm just going to zoom through my rows, and while I do that, I would love if you could take a second and hit that like button. It's a free and easy way for you to support the channel and to let me know that I'm on the right track with this whole last minute Laura thing. I really appreciate it when you do like the videos, so thank you to those of you who do. And also, if it's your first time on the channel, hi, I'm Laura, and this is the Last Minute Laura channel. I would love if you hit that subscribe button. We put out new videos here every single day. Monday to Friday, I live stream from 7 a.m. until about 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I put out edited videos more like this. Sometimes it's crochet, sometimes it's natural dye. It's pretty much always something crafty and whatever I'm into at the moment. So if that sounds like something that's up your alley, definitely hit the subscribe button. Okay, so we finished up to row number 32. Now we're on row number 33. We're gonna single crochet into the first 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we're going to just pull that loop so we don't lose it. And now we're going to work on getting that braid. So to get that braid look that we're looking for in this fingerless glove, we're going to start by grabbing the chain 5 from row 2. We're going to put it underneath the first row and pull it right back up over. Then what we're going to do with the next chain 5 is put it through the loop that first chain 5 created, and we'll pull that down. This is where I like to use my crochet hook to help me out, just pulling it tight. And then I'm going to put my crochet hook in that loop and grab the next chain 5, pulling it through that loop. And that'll create the next loop. And then I will grab the chain 5, the next chain 5 with my crochet hook and pull it through that loop. And I'm just going to complete that all the way down this braid. So again, I'm going to put my crochet hook into my loop, grab the chain 5 from the next row, pulling it through the loop, and then pulling nice and tight. Grab the next chain 5, pull it through the loop, pull nice and tight. It's a little bit finicky, but if you just take your time, it's not super difficult. And just keep grabbing the chain 5 from the following row and pulling it through your loop all the way down the work. And at the end, once you get all of them looped together, come back here and I will show you how to finish off that row. And then it'll be time for final assembly. Okay, so now the braid part is finished. I'm going to put my crochet hook back in that loop that we left behind. And I'm going to do a single crochet through the last loop of the braid, and that's going to secure that loop back to the work, which means your braid isn't going to come undone. And then I'm going to single crochet in every stitch across until we're back at the end of the work. At the end of this, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to pull it really nice and tight. After that, it's going to be time for final assembly. Okay, so now it's time to assemble to finish up our fingerless gloves. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold over the rectangle with the braided side hidden. That way our seam is going to be invisible once we turn these out in the end. Next, I'm going to take that loop, my working loop, I'm going to put my crochet hook into the other side, the first stitch on the other side of the work, and I'm going to pull my working loop through the other side. Now I'm going to grab both tails, the initial tail from where we started and my working yarn, and I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch again on both sides, and I'm just going to pull through a slip stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch into the first 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. After that, we are going to slip stitch on one side only. So I'm just going to slip stitch on the back side only into the next 9 stitches. So 1, 2, and 9. And then we are going to reattach at that 9th stitch. Then I'm going to stick into the 10th stitch and do a slip stitch, and we're going to just slip stitch all the way down. So now we're slip stitching in every single stitch, slip stitching both pieces of fabric together until we make our way all the way to the end. At the end, just secure your yarn, cut it, and weave in your ends. And then we're going to turn our project right side out, and guess what? That's it. That's the whole thing. That is the fingerless gloves project. So, can I get a drum roll? Ta-da! Here are the final fingerless gloves. Yay! Aren't they cute? I feel like they're pretty easy, but they still have a little bit of interest in them, which makes it kind of fun, because this pattern adds that little braid around the wrist, and I think it's just kind of a sweet detail difference about it that makes it, I don't know, just a little fun. It only adds a few more minutes into your creation, but along with those front loop only and back loop only single crochets, I think this really turned out great. What do you think though? Let me know in the comments what you think of this pair of fingerless gloves. Let me know if you're gonna make a pair, and I don't know, what color are you using? I used this pink and green for my tutorial today, but I've made them in bright green, I've made them in a couple other colors, and I liked all of them pretty much the same. They're all really cute. Alex calls these his photographer's gloves. Anytime I make fingerless gloves, Alex says they are called photographer's gloves because they're perfect, they leave your fingers free. Anyways, friends, that is just about all from me for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you for watching, thank you for liking the video, thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!